Is the Schumer-Rounds amendment in trouble? Well, that is what it looks like. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, please share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, let's just get right to it. From Rogue UAPTF, this just in addition to Mike Rogers and Mike Turner, the two Mikes, as David Grush calls them, I have it on good authority that Leader McConnell and the new Speaker, Speaker Johnson, are now trying to squash the Schumer amendment focused on UAP NHI transparency. These men need to be stopped urgently. And okay, so we're going to get into that. But that is in direct opposition to what Representative Tim Burchett was saying about the new leaders, Leader Johnson, Speaker Johnson, that he was going to work with Tim and the others on UAP transparency, potentially even creating the select committee. So this is a reversal of Johnson's positions, according to Tim. Now, maybe he told Tim something, but he was really planning something else or was persuaded by Mike Rogers and Mike Turner, which I think is more likely. They got to him. They persuaded him to do this. They exerted pressure on him because, of course, they are the control group and they can do that. And it's not just that one Twitter account saying that. This is Christopher Sharp, a reporter, Christopher Sharp, saying, can confirm. 2 years ago, the DOD and IC ambushed and killed the Gillibrand Amendment at Thanksgiving. And that tweet was coming from yesterday, Thanksgiving. Now it looks like Republican leaders in the pockets of defense contractors, have done the same. Not good, not good. Christopher Sharp says, blindsided by politicians. Not a good look. Richard Butt, the very interesting Richard Butt, who has lots of interesting insight into all of this stuff, and who promised big things for November. And we have seen big things happening. Is that what he was promising? Or if you say big things are going to happen, you can claim credit for anything that happens. Who knows? We don't know much about Richard Butt, but he seems to be fairly reliable. So the jury's still out on Richard Butt, whoever that is. Some have even said it's Lou Elizondo. I don't think it is, but it is potentially an ally of Lou. Anyway, he says, we are winning and we will win. We are never going to give up or let this go. Our democracy depends on it. We have plans for every scenario, and we have backup plans for our backup plans. And he said similar things before, and I hope all of that is true. But it is, it is not good if the new speaker is going to, if he has been persuaded or co-opted by the control group to squash or neuter the Schumer-Rounds amendment. And then we have another response from Joe Murgia, UFO Joe. He quotes Richard Butt saying, we are never going to give up or let this go. We have plans for every scenario. He says, this is exactly what I'm talking about. They have a master strategist in Chris Mellon, combined with the tireless efforts of Lou Elizondo, plus Richard Butt, and lots of other determined and sharp people involved behind the scenes. If the Schumer amendment fails, it will delay things, but will not stop the inevitable. The world will learn the truth. We are not alone on this planet. How that happens is up to Congress. As Jeremy Corbell said, it can be done the easy way or the hard way. Your choice, gatekeepers. And Mike Turner, Mike Rogers, Speaker Johnson, and Leader McConnell. Joe Murgia goes on to say, credible witnesses coming forward publicly and making it undeniable. And when people find out that this has been kept from them for so long, they're going to be pissed and demand answers in large numbers. Not like the small numbers we have right now. Congress will be overwhelmed. Well, make it so, Joe. Make it so. And Claus has this words of warning. He says, truth and reconciliation for the U.A.P. cover-up won't be on the table forever. Resentment will only spread further. Information will only flow faster. The excuses will only seem weaker. Get out while you still can. And Christopher Sharp adds, remember, there are still some levers to pull. It may be unlikely that Rubio, Gillibrand, Schumer, Rounds, and elements within the White House will let this go down without a fight. And this is from Dean Johnson. If you are asking here specifically about the prospects for the Schumer-Rounds U.A.P. Disclosure Act, but remember that measure is not the only significant U.A.P.-related provision in the Senate-passed NDAA, its prospects for enactment have always been iffy, as I have reported since the outset, and those prospects are now more dicey than ever. Dicey, notwithstanding last summer's confident but weakly sourced reports that the Schumer proposal was on easy street due to purported unsubstantiated White House backing, and notwithstanding the widely viewed predictions and pretensions of that guy who had already lined up a slate for UAP records review for the UAP Records Review Board. Still, the NDAA process has a couple of steps yet to go. Thus, respectful and thoughtful expressions of strong support for retention of the Schumer-Rounds provisions are still timely. Such expressions should be directed by constituents to members of either house, but especially now to House Republicans, as their party holds the majority among House conferees and in the full House of Representatives. And please don't get political in the comments. Remember that Republicans like Tim Burchett are leading the tip of the spear in the House of Representatives on UAP disclosure. This is in no way a partisan or political issue. This is the establishment, which is allied with the control group, or rather the control group is allied with the establishment, rearing its ugly head to block UFO disclosure. And that's a bipartisan issue. So, on the other hand, personal insults and harsh invective directed at senior House NDAA conferees or party leaders, such as various utterances heard this week from a number of UAP disclosure advocates on this platform, Spotify, and elsewhere, can only diminish whatever hope remains for the enactment of the Schumer-Rounds provision. Now, I'm going to have to take issue with this, because when he's talking about Spotify, he's talking about the David Grush interview on Joe Rogan. And David Grush coming out talking about this publicly and naming names like Mike Rogers and Mike Turner, putting pressure on those people and people to come out against them can only be a good thing. So I don't know why Dean Johnson is taking this position against David Grush in the Joe Rogan interview. There's an interesting stance. I don't quite get that. But if you do, let me know in the comments below. He goes on to say, remember, the House of Representatives will not hold any separate vote on whether the Schumer-Rounds proposal should be enacted. Schumer-Rounds cannot be enacted unless it's part of the final NDAA conference report that emerges from the House Senate Conference Committee, as that measure will not be amended further. However, if the Schumer-Rounds provision is included in that final NDAA as approved by the conference committee, then its enactment becomes very highly likely. Congress has enacted an NDAA for the last 62 years running. So that's where things stand on the Schumer-Rounds amendment. The control group is trying to block it, as predictably. Unfortunately, it sounds like they have been able to sway the new speaker, who before has said that his worldview is actually from the Bible. If it's not in the Bible, it's not in his worldview, and he has said that publicly. Tim Burchett thought he could work with him. He thought he was an ally, but it turns out that may not be the case, and they are either going to kill or neuter the Schumer-Rounds amendment unless enough people speak up about it. And that's why I don't understand Dean Johnson's stance against the David Grush, Joe Rogan interview, cluing more people into the internal struggles of Congress, and the cover-up can only be a good thing, right? But that's just my take. So let me know what your take about all this is in the comments below. And if you are so motivated, please contact your representative and let them know that you are not going to stand for the UFO cover-up anymore. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, please consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt. See the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member, because channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.